Okay, number 5, we're doing a cosine graph. And notice this one has parentheses here where we've got that plus pi over 2 inside. So that's going to indicate a phase shift. Now let's start off with the other two things first. We're going to have an amplitude there of 2. And now for my period here, I'm going to do 2 pi over b. B is my coefficient, and so that would be the 2 there. I'm going to have 2 pi over 2. Just be pi. And now for phase shift, and the phase, recall phase shift is the opposite of C over B. Okay, so when we use these terms A, B, and C, here we have A cosine of Bx plus C plus D. Okay, D would be anything that would be a vertical shift. So we don't have a vertical shift on this one, but we definitely have a phase shift here. So we're going to do the opposite of C over B there. So opposite of C would be negative pi over 2 over 2. Okay. Now let's calculate this. So we're going to just multiply by the reciprocal. So we'll do negative pi over 2 times the reciprocal of 2 would be 1/2. So my phase shift is going to be negative pi over 4. So I'm going to be starting this graph over to the left here. Okay, now let's fill in everything else here. We got an amplitude of 2. Okay, the period was pi. Let's count out to pi. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's pi. Half of pi will be pi over 2. Half of pi over 2 will be pi over 4. So we're counting by pi over 4. So it's pi over 4. 2 pi over 4. So this one would be 3 pi over 4. Now, let's make a note of our phase shift. Our phase shift is negative pi over 4. So we're going to start, instead of starting at the y-axis, which is the cosine graph, we would normally start at 2 right there. We're going to back up here, and we're going to start at negative pi over 4. So since this is negative, I had to add a unit to the left side. Of course, if this was positive pi over 4, which I think which would be the test question does, then we would have to add over here another pi over 4, which would be 5 pi over 4. Now, so we're going to start at negative pi over 4. Since it's a cosine curve, cosine starts up with a high value. So this is going to start up at 2. But notice, instead of starting over here at the y-axis, we're shifting over to negative pi over 4 to start. Now the next one here, don't forget the origin. Don't skip over it there. That's going to be the center value. And then pi over 4, positive pi over 4 is going to be down at negative 2. And then back up at the x-axis at pi over 2. And 3 pi over 4 is going to be back up at 2. And then that's all that's necessary for a complete period. Of course, if you keep going, the pi would be back down at the x-axis, but that's not necessary there. Let's draw the curve here. That's one cycle.